Hi, everyone. Let's talk about TNA from this past week, February 12th, 2026, which I thought was a decent show. I would give it a 7 out of 10. Let's talk about it, guys. We opened TNA Thursday Night Impact with Moose, and last week marked as his return after being kicked out of the system 3 weeks ago. And Moose reflect on what happened between himself and the system, and he calls himself the face of the franchise because he has been through everything in TNA wrestling, and this was just another Thursday to him. And he created the system, and he knows how to dismantle it as well. And Moose called out the TNA World Champion Mike Santana as the one man who can dismantle the system member one by one. Then Mike Santana is ready to dismantle the system alongside Moose and the Hardys. And the director of operation, Sonya Deville, Sonya Deville, Dara Ray, I'll say it again, Dara Ray, Sonya Deville makes the things clear that she runs the show and tells them, get out of the ring, get out of the ring. And then Just Miller meets with Ryan Nemeth about his Albuquerque street fight, and he's ready to use every weapon at his dismantle to destroy Shakira Jackson, Mara Shade. I'll say it again, Mara Shade. I'll repeat it again, guys, to destroy Mara Shade right there. And then Moose is seen backstage deep in through when Alicia Edwards, I'll say it again, Alicia Edwards comes in to apologize, but immediately has a decision of her own to make. Guys, an own to make her decision and stuff with the system, with Moose and Alicia Edwards. Alicia Edwards was talking about her contract ending with TNA and stuff in backstage with Moose and stuff, and saying that she has Moose's side and stuff like that, which was pretty good. Then we had Nick Nemeth fences Rick Swann, which was a fun one-on-one match, guys. I'm telling you, loved it with Nick Nemeth fences Rick Swann. Let's talk about it, guys. This match was. Things start off with Nick Nemeth. I'll say it again, guys. I'll repeat it again, guys. We start things off with Nick Nemeth, who connects with a dropkick to the face of Rick Swann, and Rick Swann fires back with a dropkick of his own, and Nick Nemeth rolls out of the ring, and Nick Nemeth sinks again after rolling Nick Nemeth back into the ring himself, and Rick Swann lands a leg drop and follows it back to back, boom, 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 bang, 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 back and forth, bang, 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 then kicks to his spine, and Nick Nemeth turns the tights and launching Rick Swann head first into the edge of the ring and continues his assault on Rick Swann and keeps him locked in a chokehold, and Rick Swann escapes the chokehold and combos a super kick into a neck breaker, and he falls with a roll-up splash onto Nick Nemeth I'll repeat it again, guys, sorry. He follows it up with a roll-up splash onto Nick Nemeth for a count of 2. The Nick Nemeth sets up for a DDT, but connects with the Famouser instead for a pin count of 2. The Nick Nemeth is since coming crashing down with a frog splash for a pin since for 2. Then Rick Swann goes for a Phoenix splash, and Nick Nemeth offenses it and counters with a DDT. Then Nick Nemeth gets him into another chokehold, but Rick Swann reverses it with Nick Nemeth on his shoulder. Then Rick Swann slams him down for a DDT of his own, and then Rick Swann falls with a handspring, but Nick Nemeth catches him with the Danger Zone for the victory and wins with the Danger Zone. Put your thoughts on that, guys, with Nick Nemeth and Rick Swann. I thought it was a good match with Nick Nemeth picking up with the Danger Zone over Rick Swann. Good stuff with Rick Swann, even though he lost the match. Give it up with Rick Swann. Give it up to Rick Swann, guys. Give it up for Rick Swann, even though he lost the match. Then we had Indy Hartwell and Cyrus Brookside are ready to take down the Elegance brand and walk out of No Surrender as Knockouts Tag Team Champions, which we already talked about, the review of that. Then the Righteous are very happy and honored to be standing shoulder to shoulder with the Hardys. We already talked about that with No Surrender, guys, and stuff. Then Eric Young is ready to clean TNA Wrestling last week, and he gives the gift of time to BTE, which we already talked about the match with him and BTE on the No Surrender review. You guys can go back and watch that. but now has his time up, and Eric Young demands an answer, and Eric Young sees the connection BTE has with the crowd, and he's willing to allow BTE to be the hero, and BTE has thought about it all week, but immediately his answer is no. And then Eric Young throws anger at the response and immediately attacks BTE and connects with a power driver in the middle of the ring, and Eric Young dives back into the ring and goes for another power driver on BDE. Then security and referees rush in to stop him, but Eric Young delivers two back-to-back power drivers to members of security instead. And that's what happened right there. I know my friend in the comment section, Max Rock, would say that's disrespect. That's his opinion. Respect that. But I think that's what he would say about that, guys. Appreciate his hearts in this comment section. Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that. And I appreciate my other brother, Prince, giving me a thumbs up and a fire emoji and a 100. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it. Okay. Then we had Santino Marella try to spin Eric Young, but Sonya Deville, Dara Ray will not allow it because Eric Young is set to face off against BTE for No Surrender, which already happened. Then we had Ryan Nemeth versus Maura Shade, Albuquerque street fight. This match was funny. I'm telling you, the shirt that he was wearing, I'm telling you, the shirt that Ryan Nemeth was wearing was funny. I'm telling you, that shirt was funny. But the best women's wrestler in the world. Oh man, that stuff was funny. I'm telling you. Oh man, but anyways, let's carry on and talk about the match. This was a street fight, Albuquerque street fight, guys. And Maura Shade picked up the win. Let's talk about it. Ryan Nemeth sends a sneak attack on Maura Shade as she made her way to the ring, and she responds by driving a bacon sheet into his spine, then into his face, and then Ryan threw a punch, but got knuckles first into the sheet, and then Shade gets caught in the skirt of the apron, and Nick Nemeth strikes her with a bacon sheet of his own. Then Maura Shade, I was thinking Maura Shade sends a steel chair into his ribs. Then Nick Nemeth slams her to the ground and fires back with a steel chair to her ribs. And then Nick Nemeth lands a backbreaker, which lands Maura Shade, I was thinking Maura Shade straight into the floor and goes for another neckbreaker, but Maura Shade counters and sends him face first into the steel post, and she levels Nick Nemeth outside of the ring, and Maura Shade founds a bag of lollipops and dumps them onto the floor and duplexes Ryan Nemeth right onto top of them, and she brings a candlestick to the rib and arm of Ryan Nemeth, and she follows it up with a side Russian leg sweep for a pin count of 2. Then Ryan Nemeth fires back with the candlesticks and slamming it into her back and sending her face first into the mat, and Maura Shade hits one final super kick onto Ryan Nemeth for the pinfall and picks up the win with the super kick. Put your thoughts on that, guys. I thought it was a little fun match, but if you want to put thoughts on that, if you think that she stole the super kick from your others' favorites, you could say about that. Prince, if you want to, that's your opinion, bro. You know what I'm saying with the super kick thing. But that's how she beat Ryan Nemeth. Then we had the TNA injury report. This is something that AEW and WWE should do, is give us our injury report, from the wrestlers, But anyways, I never told you guys that, but I would love if AEW and WWE would do that. But let's carry on. So Moose is clear from a lingering back injury. Then Jeff Hardy is cleared despite some injuries and wear and tore. Then Jenna Stones is out after suffering a Jenna Stones is out after suffering a highwayman farewell power driver by Mustafa Ali. Then Ashby Elegance is cleared and has passed all post-match ascents after her first match back last Thursday on Impact. Then BTE is Sicily under operations after being attacked by Eric Young earlier, but that match did happen, and you can go back and watch it. Like I said again, watch my TNA No Surrender review, which I made just like 30, 40 minutes ago or so. Then Backstage, Mans Warner and his partner Steph Dalenter reintroduce themselves and are ready to stack bodies. Then Elijah is ready to place judgment onto Mustafa Ali in a first ever Qatar casting match in Nashville, Tennessee. Then we had all the matches build up for No Surrender, which we already talked about that, so I'm not going to review that. Then Ariana Grace stilled the director of authority Santino Marella's Copra ship while hugging and thanking him for the title shot. Then we had the 8-man tag match, guys, which was fun, guys. I'm telling you, this was really fun and stuff, guys, and this was the main event. Let's talk about it. Everybody, let's talk about it. This was a fun 8-man tag, and this was very long, but fun to watch. Let's talk about it. So we had the Hardys and Mike Santana and Moose fences, the system. The system fences the Hardys and Mike Santana and Moose. Let's talk about it. Alicia Edwards surprised Eddie Edwards by assisting Moose to the ring to dish out some payback, and Moose opened in the ring, and the system and Sicily backs off the apron and willing to fight him, and Moose tags in Santana, and Myers drives back into the ring, and Santana connects with a dropkick to his face and throws him down and falls with an elbow drop, and the Hardys tag in, and Matt Hardy lands an elbow to Brian Myers' face before delivering delete, and the Hardys sends a leg drop through the ropes and then tags Mike Santana back in. And I appreciate it, guys. Like I said again, appreciate all the people that are watching and stuff. I'll get to your comments and stuff. I'm sorry, but I like doing the review and telling you guys what happened on the show. Then Mike Santana gets sent to the System's corner where Bear Branson lands a sense blow, and Cedric Alexander tags in and flips Mike Santana onto the mat and connects with an elbow drop for a pin count of 2, and Cedric Alexander sets up for an LeBar check, but Mike Santana flips out of it and makes the tag to Moose, and then Moose since 8, I'll say it again, Moose since 8, Cedric Alexander onto the top rope for a drop kick, and then Eddie Edwards jumps in to help, but takes a drop kick to the face, and Moose falls with an Inzanari into a suicide into Brian Myers, and then lands Go to Hell on Cedric Alexander for a pin for 2. Then Brian Myers distracts Moose and giving Cedric Alexander the opening to create space and tags Eddie Edwards, and Moose charges at Eddie Edwards and connects with a drop kick. Then tags made onto Matt Hardy and goes for delete onto Eddie Edwards, and Brian Myers and Cedric Alexander also get caught in delete after trying to help Edwards, and Matt Hardy goes for a twist of fate onto Eddie Edwards, but Bear Branson barrels into him, and Branson gets a tag, and Matt Hardy goes for a sunset flip. Matt Hardy goes for a sunset flip into a pin, but Bear Branson flattens him, and then Brian Myers holds Matt Hardy in a chokehold, and Matt Hardy counters with a jawbreaker. Then Brian Myers fires back with a knee to Matt Hardy's face, and then Eddie Edwards keeps Matt Hardy strapped in their counter, and then tags is made to Cedric Alexander, who presses his ankles and then cross face Matt Hardy's face. Also again, Matt Hardy's face. Then Cedric Alexander falls with a dragon screw and tags in Bear Branson. Then the system continues making quick tags as they recently beat down on Matt Hardy, and Cedric Alexander lands a suplex, and Brian Myers comes back in and locks Matt Hardy into another chokehold, and then Brian Myers celebrates too early and gets flattened by a side effect from Matt Hardy. Then Mike Santana gets the tag and drop kicks Eddie Edwards. Rolling Buck 50 connects for a pin, but the system breaks it up, and then Moose and the Hardys clear the ring and leaving motion and sending Edwards into Moose, who slams him into the mat, and then Mike Santana falls with a poppy splash for a pin of 2. Then Eddie Edwards lands a blue thunderbomb into Santana. Then Myers combos with an elbow drop, and then Cedric Alexander slams down with a splash of his own. Then Eddie Edwards tries to win for the system, but only gets a 2 count. Then Mike Santana lands a drop kick to the face of Eddie Edwards, but Brian Myers infringes with a spear. Then Jeff Hardy connects with a kick to Brian Myers and then takes a knee to the face from Cedric Alexander. Then Moose delivers a headbutt but gets slammed down by Bear Branson. Then Matt Hardy hits Twist of Fate on Bear Branson. Then Eddie Edwards fires back with a super kick, and then Mike Santana falls with a spin to block, and both men are down in the middle of the ring. Good stuff, guys. Really good stuff, I'm telling you. Boom, 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 bang, 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 bang. Good stuff, good stuff. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Getting too hype. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, carry on. So then Bear Branson and Jeff Hardy trade blows. Good stuff with the trade blows between Bear Branson and Jeff Hardy. Then Jeff Hardy connects with an elbow drop. Also again, an elbow drop into an elbow drop for a pin for two. Also again for two. Then Brian Myers tries to advance to the belt, but Alicia Edwards disarms Brian Myers outside of the ring, and Moose kicks Brian Myers in the face, and Eddie Edwards flattens Moose, and Mike Santana takes out Eddie Edwards, and the Hardys land a blitz twist on Bear Branson into the ring, and Jeff Hardy climbs to the top rope, but Cedric Alexander illegally interferes and leaves Jeff Hardy hanging up on the top turnbuckle, and Bear Branson seizes the opportunity and dives Jeff Hardy head first into the mat for the win, and that's how the system won. And I'll repeat it again, guys. Bear Branson seized the opportunity and dives Jeff Hardy head first into the mat for the pinfall victory. And that's how the system, Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers and Cedric Alexander and Bear Branson defeated Mike Santana and the Hardys and Moose. So put your thoughts, guys. I give this show a 7 out of 10. So I'll show the comments now. So Max said yes. Okay. I like her hitting the super kick. I know who you're talking about. Jakara Jackson, Maura Shade. And I love Mustafa Ali. Okay. But anyways, guys, put your thoughts on the show. I gave this show a 7 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. Put your thoughts on Nick Nemeth versus Rick Swann. You can put your thoughts on that. Put your thoughts on Moose, being by himself now and stuff, being a babyface and not being with the system, and stuff like that. What's your thoughts on Cedric Alexander being with the system and Bear Branson being in the system, the new system with Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers and Bear Branson and Cedric Alexander? Do you guys miss Fandango, aka Fandango, retiring, JDC and Alicia Edwards being on that team, and Moose with them instead of having Cedric Alexander and Bear Branson? Do you like the OG system or do you like the new system? Put your comments down below on that. My opinion, I like the OG system more, but I love the new system as well. But if I had to choose one, I would say the OG system with JDC and the Moose and Alicia Edwards and Eddie Edwards and them. But you guys can put your thoughts on that. And I gave that show a 7 out of 10, like I said again. And like I said again, don't forget to like the video and all of that stuff. Like I said again, guys, before I go, I'm going to be on quiet for a couple minutes, and then I'll end this video. So that's all I have to say, guys. And the other thing, too, we got Rebellion coming in April. I can't wait for Rebellion in April. And we got Sacrifice. Sacrifice is the next TNA PLE, guys. The next PLE for TNA is Sacrifice. Yeah, I can't wait, man. Sacrifice is going to be in New Orleans, guys. And Rebellion is going to be in Cleveland, Ohio. So, yes, guys, Can't wait for those next two PLEs for TNA. And that's all I have to say. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit those notification bells as always, guys. And this is CJD 2006. And peace out and take care and much love.